And this morning, we are joined by a true legend of classic rock. You may know him from his hits from the 80s, but what you may not realize is the impressive track record and history this man truly has. Joining us all the way from across the pond, as we call it, live from the United Kingdom, and on the rock line with us this morning is none other than John Parr. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Matt. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. We're very excited to chat with you today, and as I sometimes bash the internet, this is how we actually set this up. We follow you on Twitter, and that's actually how we made this happen. And I got to ask, John, are you much for technology and the social networks?
Hardly at all. I have a friend of mine runs the little Facebook column, but no, I don't do any of that at all, actually.
Okay, right on. Do you do any like home production with technology or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the studio at the house. Have a big studio called Somewhere in Yorkshire.
Oh, okay, nice.
And that's, as you can imagine, full digital studio. So there's a lot of technical stuff.
Oh, that's great stuff. Now, often when people think of you, right away they're going to think St. Elmo's Fire or, of course, Naughty Naughty. They come to mind, two of your huge hits. And what some people may not know is the history behind your number one hit from 1985, St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion. Other than being on the movie soundtrack of the same title, it has a deep story behind us. Tell us a little bit about the story behind Man in Motion and the Rick Hansen connection there.
Well, basically, when David Foster and I were writing the song for the movie, I was really stuck for inspiration, and David showed me a video cassette of Rick setting out from Vancouver on the beginning of the Man in Motion tour. And obviously, Rick had really nobody pushing him. He had $400 in his pocket,
right?
And he just spoke so passionately about what he was trying to achieve and getting people out of the wheelchair. And I just thought I've really got to make this song about him and try and fool the film company that it's about Demi Moore in her Jeep, but the pair of wheels obviously is Rick Hansen's.
Right.
Ironically, it's the 25th anniversary next year of Rick actually achieving it.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so, I mean, what I'm thinking, it'd be very interesting to see if there'd be any interest out there with your listeners. What I'm seriously thinking of actually tracing the route back across Canada next year. And literally doing shows in every town, maybe coming through on the bus, even stopping in the street at the small places, playing the song, collecting money for the foundation.
And yeah, exactly. And the foundation has grown; it's massive at this point. And it actually started. I believe the trip actually started in St. John's, Newfoundland, about 4 hours from where we are here in Newfoundland. So that'd be awesome if you started there and just went across Canada. I think that would be great.
That's my thinking, and just a small truck, and maybe just a little, kind of me and the guitars and doing the big shows at night, but kind of doing, meet and greets in the street, just driving through and get the buckets out again and see what we could do.
Yeah, I think it would be an absolutely fantastic idea, and it would definitely draw some crowds, and of course it would benefit the foundation significantly. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of Naughty Naughty. I was telling you before I came on there. I love the video. We actually got to post it on our Facebook page right now to all the listeners who want to go check it out. I got to ask, though, is that you performing the wide turn in the Mustang when the hubcap comes off?
Yeah, they said to me, come round that corner about 30 miles an hour, and the crew was in the middle of the road, and I just couldn't resist it, so I floored it. Came around the corner, as you can see. You can see the hubcap comes flying off.
Was that meant to happen?
They just left the camera rolling, and they just dived. I just missed the camera. I mean, they look great, those old cars, but they don't handle.
No, definitely not. So the hubcap wasn't actually intentional.
No, absolutely not. No, it was just because I really screwed the tire that much. It just forced the hubcap off.
Oh my goodness! So I guess you are a bit of a car man in that case.
Oh yeah, but most of the videos have got some kind of classic cars in. Yeah.
Oh, great stuff. Now I noticed you've been on some huge tours, playing 10,000-seater venues with Tina Turner. There's been Heart, the Beach Boys. More recently, Journey and Bryan Adams, a fellow Canadian. In your experience, what's been the most fun tour that you've been on? What has really stood out in all those big tours you've been on?
To be honest, they've all been spectacular, but in terms of fun, the very first one with Toto was fantastic.
Right.
Kind of getting to hang out with Steve Lukather and Jeff Porcaro, mainly because only 9 months before, I'd kind of felt I'd got no chance of having a record deal and nothing was going to happen for me, and really thought about throwing the towel in. And I remember listening to Toto 4 at my little house in Yorkshire, thinking I'm never going to do it. And 9 months later, I'm out on the road opening for Toto. They're in the side of the wings watching my show and punching the air, and we became buddies and made records together.
Oh, wow, that must have been a great feeling.
Oh, man, you know, I think it's just testimony to, I think if, you know, anybody out there that's got a dream and thinks it's never going to happen, I promise you, if you just do the work, you know, work has a way of making luck happen as well, you know.
Right, yeah, hard work, you know, I always stood by that too. Hard work always pays off, and if you really want to achieve something, you really can.
True.
And
true.
Now, I noticed that you've got some gigs coming up in the UK. Are there any other big plans for some future, you know, tours or, you know, by the way of touring, or are you still with your band of business as well, is what I also wanted to ask there?
No, it would be a new band. Because I've been away for quite some time, it would be a completely new thing. And my plan is to come out to America and Canada in the summer with 2 shows, with the band show, and I also do like an up-close and personal evening with me, where it's I kind of take the audience with me on a journey from how I started to Hollywood and to working on the movies. Okay. So it's funny, inspiring, and real intimate night.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of like an intimate and interactive sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And now, speaking, you just mentioned, actually, you know, you were out of the business for a while. You left music for about 10 years, returning in 2007. I got 2 questions for you. What did it feel like returning to music after the hiatus, and what is on your mind as far as the future and your career and the music is concerned?
Well, it was really forced. It was nearly 20 years, actually. I mean, I kind of made music to some degree, but I got embroiled in a legal battle. Okay. And took me 20 years to win it. I literally only finished last year.
Oh, my goodness.
So that held me up. So to kind of it was like, you know, you really felt like I'm never going to get back out there.
Right.
And now I just feel recharged, and I just feel I got so much to prove and so much to give. So I think I'm as hungry and as you know, as dedicated as I was as a kid, you know, 20 years ago.
Well, that's great. So I guess you could say you've almost been rebirthed into the music at this point.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I mean, the songs, you know, songwriting side, I'm overflowing. You know, when you've gone through that much trouble, you have to see the positives, and really, you know, the frustration and all of it has come out in my new material.
Right, and
that's not to say it's doom laden. It's very positive.
Oh no, definitely. And of course, you know, outside all this touring and stuff that you've done, you've actually got quite a huge resume behind the scenes as well. And by that I mean the people that you've written with. You know, you've got Meatloaf on Rock and Roll Mercenaries, Roger Daltrey, just to name some.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, what was it like writing with these guys, and who did you share more of a creative vision with?
I think Meatloaf and I we really hit it off.
Right.
And we spent a lot of time. In fact, when I first came to America, I lived with him for a while at his house while he was, you know, making the album. And then we made a record together called Rock and Roll Mercenaries, and we toured the world promoting that. So we kind of really shared, you know, to say we were so disparate people, we really kind of connected.
Yeah.
But it's been funny, you know. I mean, like you say, you know, most of my last show in America, Daltrey, I played with Daltrey at Madison Square Garden. We sang. I wrote a song called Under a Raging Moon for Roger.
Okay.
And that was my last show in the States, I think 1987.
Okay, wow. Some time ago. Yeah, and I have to say, I've listened to there's a vinyl cut of Rock and Roll Mercenaries with you and Meatloaf on YouTube. Fantastic tune, and I've actually...
It's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and actually they took down there was a video, I believe, of you and him jamming it out, and I think one of the record labels might have taken it down, but I'd love to actually see that video sometime.
Yeah, it's a fun video. It's the guy who did, you remember that great video, Addicted to Love, Robert Palmer?
Yes, indeed.
With the girls. It's the same guy, Terry Donovan. He shot that video.
Oh, right on. Yeah, now, moving away from music for a second, what do you like to do in your downtime? What does John Parr like to do on his off time? What are some of your interests and hobbies in your spare time?
Well, I'm a martial artist. I'm a black belt.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually an instructor, a taekwondo instructor.
Right.
So I teach kids martial arts, how to defend themselves, but more importantly, in martial arts, there's a big ethos that people don't know about. They're called tenets. So you teach people courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control. Okay. A lot of things we need in the world today. And,
for sure.
And it's my little bit of, and you know, so not only the first thing I teach a child to do is to kind of be respectful, and then how to defend themselves. You know,
right.
It's a nice order.
And you know, a lot of children these days, you know, find themselves being bullied and things like that, and they almost have nowhere to turn. It's really good that you're kind of doing something positive to help these kids out.
I love it. Well, in fact, tonight, I go tonight, you know, 5 o'clock tonight, I'll be up there at the school and, you know, just give them an hour, but I talk to them a lot and I do a lot of demonstration with them, but it's really it's very rewarding because, you know, it's, you know, very young, impressionable people.
Right, and get the...
I think if you've got integrity, you can, you know, you feel good about it.
Totally. Now, another thing I was going to ask you, a lot of times when you search for you on the internet, you see that American flag guitar. Do you still play that Covenant guitar?
Still play that.
And what is it?
It's a Gibson Les Paul.
Okay.
And it's funny because that's actually a mask. It's a design that a friend of mine did. It clips on the guitar.
Right.
So wherever I am, I clip on the flag of the country or the state I'm in usually.
Oh, very
So I've got
nice.
a great maple leaf guitar
Right.
as well.
Yeah, I believe I saw a picture of you and Bryan Adams actually with the maple leaf one.
Yeah, Brian's got my maple leaf guitar, and I'm holding, but I've got a bunch of them, you know, and
wow.
they're just masked, and just this kind of little nod to the crowd, you know, that, you know, we'd walk out with their state or their country flag, you know.
You really give back, and I got to say, I really look forward to what is coming down the pipes with you in the future. Are there any artists that you may be currently working with at this point in time?
Well, I'm going out with, funny enough, I'm going out with John Waite in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
You know, Missing You.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going out with Richard Marx in May.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just fantastic. So we did the last tour was Journey. I don't know if I'll hook up with Journey. I know they're doing a big tour again.
Right.
So maybe something. But there's a few things in the pipeline, but I'm definitely with John Waite and Richard.
Right.
In the next few weeks.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, like I say, I've been following you on Twitter and on Facebook and checking out what you're into. And another thing I was going to ask you a couple of questions ago was, do you still ever keep in touch with Meatloaf at all?
Yeah, I spoke to Meatloaf. In fact, I saw him about 6 weeks ago. Hadn't seen him for a long time. We usually talk on email.
Right.
And he was playing just up the road from me, so I went and watched the show. Fantastic show.
Right.
And it was just like old times. It was just, you know, you walk in a room and you see someone you haven't seen for a while, and
yes,
there's
and
nobody else there,
off.
and there's just nothing between you other than what there was all those years ago.
Right.
So it was lovely. It was really lovely.
All right. And I also read on your Facebook there the other day that you're going to be putting out an acoustic version of St. Elmo's Fire. Is that correct?
Yeah, the new record is going to be it's a double album. They're both live.
Right.
One is a live album with a band playing all the kind of classic songs and the new songs, and also in there will be probably 10 or 15 acoustic live tracks, which will be acoustic versions of the classics and some new acoustic songs as well. Okay,
well, I'm looking forward. When can you give us a ballpark of when we can expect this coming out?
Mid-May.
Mid-May?
Yeah, right. We're right on it, yeah.
All right, and I'm sure we will be definitely giving it some major plugs right here on K-Rock. And, well, Mr. John Parr, I enjoyed this chat thoroughly, and I know I speak for our audience out there in Radio Land when I say we are looking forward to what your future ventures bring us. And thank you so much for taking the time to give us a call, and we hope to hear from you soon again. And listen, if you do hit up Newfoundland, look us up if you ever roll through.
I'll be there, man. Thanks a lot, Matt.
All right, thank you very much, John. And we're going to hear a song from John Parr.